We were getting in school here and getting into growing a farm and providing food for the summer, winter. I think I've told you one time when Jake's mom and dad came to visit us, and we had this a closet with shelves of canned goods.
Right, that would have been so unusual.
We did not put many things in the freezer. You know, I think carrots. I don't know. Green beans. I know I can. I cannot remember. I was trying to remember what all I can, but the shelves were full.
Yeah, right.
And that's when Jake's parents came, and he wanted me to open a can of green beans, and Jake said no. Wouldn't even let them have it.
Really?
Said those are for school years. We can buy something for you to eat when you're here, but that's for school years.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
When the years were lean, that was when it was more lean.
Pardon?
Does that mean because it was more lean years that you had it, or because you just in the wintertime you didn't have the fresh?
This is true.
Got it.
Yeah. We had frozen things, but we bought meat and kept in the freezer. We didn't have a big freezer unit like others later on might have. But what we had was home canned quarts.
Yes.
Green beans.
Mother, do you remember how many quarts of beets you would have done?
I think as I opened the door in my head, and sometimes my memory is a little different, you know, but I counted between what we had put in the freezer in the box, not one of ours, but we rented a space, and the canned goods. I had over 300 containers from beans.
Wow.
Not much peas. Peas I didn't can. I froze some. We didn't produce those as much. And we had carrots we provided and potatoes. Carrots, we'd have a barrel full of, I think it was sand or something. And you could have that in the basement of your home, and that would get chilled. And so you put your carrots, they had to be standing up like this.
Really?
You cut the tops, but you stand up, and they were in these barrels.
Oh.
And you'd eat through the winter. You had they were like fresh carrots.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I remember as we came up, because I don't know, your dad got into Future Farmers of America when he was in high school. That's where he excelled. And he learned how to provide a fire. I wouldn't know how to build a fire in a stove and cook like that. And it was one of those big stoves where you build a fire and the oven's here that Rebecca toddled over, and you knew about that.
Yeah.
That terrible. And then the way
she touched it, didn't she?
She touched it, and then she's Hanny.
Oh.
And because this is the way you used to do burns, you'd cut a potato open and scrape it like you would a potato for a child that couldn't eat yet. You scrape it, put that on, and then bind it up to let air get to it.
Oh.
So her little hand was bound up like that. And your dad wrapped a quilt around her and started running for the hospital.
Oh, Mother.
And a car stopped and picked him up and took him to the hospital with her.
Were you did you have Fred already?
I was pregnant, so I couldn't go running along. So anyway, she even after she came home, she remembered that burn, and she'd say, Hanny.
Oh, godmother.
I tell you, those things are so hard in raising little children.
Yeah.
The different things that happen to you just breaks your heart. But it's no time to wilt and cry.
No.
It's time to get things done.
Yeah.
And that's what always amazed me, Sarah. The way God puts in the heart. That happened to me because I was a city kid. I didn't know how to do a lot of things. But God puts in the heart how to take care of things. And I knew about the scraping a potato, on a burn. I knew how to do that. And so I got that. And God just puts it in your mind how to take care of these little children,
Amazing.
And which one I was thinking about, I was going to ask Jake about it, which one it was that fell down the stairs. I think it was James. We were visiting a family, and he was going to go downstairs to play or something. He slipped and fell and bumped his head. I'll have to get Jake to tell you about all of that, because it doesn't come back to me really clear. I just know that he had to get him to the hospital, and the other occasion was Rebecca burning her little hand and saying, "Hanny, Hanny, Hanny," But it's amazing how God puts, as a mother, you would know that too, God puts in the mind of a mother and a father how to take care of a child, what you're supposed to do, There's an instinct inside us that God puts there. So that's, I was thinking about it the other day. We raised 6. The Lord took the boys.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother situation. We don't dwell on that. We know the occasions, but we don't linger there. God took the boys. The girls have had your ups and downs, like Susan, when she was 5 years old and became a diabetic. And then when Jake took the rest of the family back, drove the rest of the family back to California, Texas to California, and Fred helped me with that baby, and Daniel would have been. So.
Well, I think you probably were right. I think it was Fred, Mother, because Daniel was just 15 months or 18 months older than Susan.
Yeah.
So it would have been Fred that helped you.
Fred helped me, but it was the 3 children we became.
That Daddy took back.
I believe that was
Susan, it would have been Rebecca, Dan, and James. That Daddy took back to California.
Yeah, I believe that's the way I remember it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yep.